Good morning. You've reached What's on Scott's Mind. Obviously, one of the things not on my mind is shaving right now. Um, I will. I promise. I will shave in the next few days, but not going anywhere until potentially Wednesday. So, not going to shave till Tuesday. Um, that and getting a little bushy. It's starting to look like a wild man. Um, Trying the different view, in part because I talk with my hands, and this way I can talk with my hands and it doesn't disrupt the video because you don't see my hands. You just see my face. So it is a very simple, much easier way for me to deal with it. The other thing is I'm trying to avoid the shaky cam problems that I've had in the past. I do have a stand that I printed. I will continue to play around with different stands to see the right one for doing this particular vlog. But, for now, that's where it is. No athletic news from me, other than the fact that last night was the Super Bowl. I didn't watch it. I've watched most of the Super Bowls in the last few years. This was a big one, 60. Um, I think I know I've watched at least pieces, because I've seen pieces of the game from last night. I've watched at least pieces of every Super Bowl since Super Bowl one. My grandparents lived in Wisconsin, and my grandmother was a huge Green Bay Packers fan. So when the Packers were in the Super Bowl, my grandmother was ecstatic. That was Super Bowl one and two. She passed away before Brett Favre led the Packers back to the Super Bowl, but she was there for Super Bowl one and two, and a huge Packers fan. Um, we lost Grandma in 1992, which seems like a lifetime ago now, but we lost Grandma in 92. My father's father, Grandpa Ole, we lost him in 1972. Then we lost Grandma Moni in 1992. We lost Grandpa Ray in 1996, and then we lost Grandma Esther in 2000. No, 2002 or 3. No, more than that. About 2008. But the point being, we've lost all those folks. They're gone. They're no longer with us. But this is not that, right? I like I said, I've watched a little bit of the Super Bowl. It was quite fun so far. Anyway, as I've said, we're looking through and talking about the Super Bowls. All well said and done, right? No longer relevant. Super Bowl's over. College football championship is over. Now it's time for the NCAA men's basketball championship, March Madness. One of my favorite times of the year athletically, because you have college basketball and you have preseason or early spring baseball. And I enjoy early spring baseball. That is a lot of fun. I don't watch baseball anywhere near as much as I once did. I probably watch 3 Cubs games in a whole year. I love the concept of baseball, but as I've said many times, after the steroid scandal, I just don't care anymore. The sad reality of that steroid scandal is that it took a lot from me in terms of emotionally my connection to the game. It's a sad reality. Anyway, the other thing that's on my mind is still snow covered, but the crazy dog, Sadie, the new dog in the house, the yellow lab, is now bringing chunks of ice in to chew on, which is funny, except she doesn't eat them all. She brings a chunk of ice and leaves it somewhere, and then it melts. She's a funny dog. Quite the humorous creature overall. But that all said, all well and done, right? She's dragging ice into the house. We're supposed to warm up this week, maybe melt some of the snow, get a little bit gone. It's icy, so the problem is now going to be ice takes longer to melt than snow does, because snow has air, right? Snow has less density than water, and water becomes ice. So because of that, you have the reality of ice is not going to melt as fast as the snow, but hopefully the snow will melt quite a bit, and we'll get back to having, yards and things like that, and hopefully the last snow of the year. But the thing that kind of got to me is that the weather has taken a radical turn downward, temperature wise. Saturday, normally Puck and I go on about a 7 mile hike on Saturday. Saturday, the air temperature outside was about 5 degrees and the wind chill was about 14 below, and it was really cold, coldest day so far this year. So Puck and I cut our walk short because on Sunday we were able to go our full. We usually go about 7 miles. We were able to go a full 7 miles, no problem, because the air temperature was about 16 when we started, at about 22 when we got home, but the wind was gone. So anyway, weather being what it is, you've reached What's on Scott's Mind. Thank you so much for listening.